Hey guys, I wanted to make a video about prong collars, mostly just to educate, because there's a lot of misunderstanding when it comes to the prong collar. And a lot of the misunderstanding that's being spread is being spread by people who have never used the prong collar, they have zero experience with it, they they just are going by what they've heard or pictures they've seen or stuff like that. Um, So I just wanted to give actual facts on the prong collar, since I have used it on hundreds of dogs. Um, so anyway, as an example of people who are uninformed spreading information on these prong collars, I had spoken with a person who was looking for a kind of a foster home in the interim between up until a point where they could get into a home themselves where they could take their dog with them. But the backstory of that was um, this dog had gotten out of their yard, somehow escaped the yard or escaped their house, I'm not sure which, and had gotten over into the neighbor's yard. Well, the neighbor had an invisible fence with their dog in it, and that dog had attacked these people's dog when he crossed over the line. Um, because of that, their dog was deemed dangerous and was kicked out of the city that they live in. So they found friends to leave the dog with, and these friends were not very responsible, and this dog escaped at least twice while it stayed with their friends. Both times that it had escaped, it had attacked other dogs and was taken to the shelter. When they contacted me, this was the third time that the dog had been at the shelter, and the shelter had told them that unless they come get their dog at a certain time on a certain date, that they were going to have to put the dog down. So they called me because they had no place to keep the dog because, of course, it had been kicked out of the city that they live in, and they didn't have any friends to take it. And they wanted to put it through my rehab to rehome program. And everything was going fine. I had given them information to go check out my website. I had given them my Facebook page so that they could see my methods and all of that. And I was going to meet them up there at the shelter and pick the dog up. I had spoken with the shelter. Everything was going to be taken care of. And they mentioned a 4-foot leash, and I said yes, and I have a prong collar as well. And they said, oh, he doesn't need a prong collar. And I said, oh, it's okay, it's fine. I train all the dogs on the prong collar. It's just standard procedure. And she got off the phone with me. This person got off the phone with me and texted me shortly after and said, we don't believe in those spiky collars. We were able to find somebody else who owns 5 acres, and we're taking the dog there. So, because they don't believe in the spiky collars, this dog is somewhere else again, and I'm hoping that it doesn't end up in the shelter yet again. But it's racking up quite a history of bad experiences that are only going to get worse if it continues, because one fight always leads to another, leads to another, leads to another, and the feelings that the dog is having for each fight gets worse and worse. So anyway, now to the prong collars. So I want to show you why I use prong collars. I want to show you some facts about the prong collars and why the prong collars are not as dangerous as everybody makes them, or not everybody, as some people make them out to be. So, what I'm going to start with is just a regular collar. This is just a regular collar, okay? And I'm going to use my wrist, and we're going to imagine that this is a dog's neck, okay? I'm going to put the leash on this collar, and I'm going to pretend like, okay, so this is the neck of the dog. I have a leash right here. And if you have a dog that's wearing a regular collar, and they're pulling against this collar. Can you see what's happening? So we've seen many, many dogs. I'm sure everybody has seen that dog or has experienced that dog that pulls and pulls and pulls and pulls on the walk. And the whole time they're pulling, they're coughing, they're choking, they're suffocating themselves, right? What we don't take into consideration is that while they're pulling and pulling and pulling, their trachea is being damaged. They're actually hurting their trachea. This can lead to trouble breathing later in life. This could cause death ultimately. Okay, so that's, you see that damage? That is with a flat collar only. Okay. Now I want to show you. I should have gotten a smaller one. This is a prong collar. We've all seen the picture going on Facebook with the dogs that have the holes in their neck that goes all the way around. That is obviously damage done by a prong collar. I'm not saying that you can't do damage with a prong collar, but a prong collar, like any other tool, just like with this, is as dangerous as the person using the tool. Okay? The pictures that you've seen going around, I have a feeling, I don't know the facts, I have a feeling though, that it was more of a matter of somebody putting a prong collar on a dog and the dog, and never ever taking it off, and the dog actually grew into the collar. I can't see that much damage all the way around the neck happening in any other way. And here's why. There are prong collars that are made with sharp points. So the prong collars I use, let's get up here. I don't know if you can tell. They are rounded edges. They are not sharp at all, okay? So, I'm actually going to resize this because I want this. I don't know if I can make it small enough. I can. I want this small enough to fit around my wrist like it would a regular dog. So I'm going to take some prongs out. The great things about prong collars is they are sizable. You can make them as big and as small as you want, as you need. And then in addition, they make them where the prongs themselves, you see how thick the gauge is on this, on the metal, and how far apart these prongs are. They actually make these collars so that they are in varying, the prongs themselves are very variant sizes, various sizes. Okay, so when you have a prong collar, this is how it's going to go on your dog's neck, and it's actually going to be tighter than this. Okay, this is the tightest I can get it around my arm. I accidentally chose a larger prong collar to make this video about. Okay, so, and it'll sit on your dog's neck loosely, typically, right? What happens if your dog pulls on the prong collar? I have the leash set up. If your dog pulls, it does give, it gets tighter right here, right? And this isn't as tight as it could go. Well, this is as tight as it would go, okay? So it would get tight. What happens is the pressure isn't all right there. Look, the pressure is equal all the way around your dog's neck. So it's not just getting pressure from the front, he's getting pressure all the way around, right? So what happens, because it's feeling that pressure and that pressure is getting tight, and it actually does, watch this, close in, and the prongs get tight, and it's almost a pinching, right, around their neck. They are encouraged to stop the pulling. They're not going to continue to pull if it's correctly fitted, because those prongs, see that, are actually getting tighter and pinching a little bit. So that's going to stop your dog from pulling. So what's not happening is your dog is not getting suffocated at all. There's no coughing, there's no trying to breathe past it, right? It's just they feel that and they stop. And then additionally, the way it's used on a walk is it's a quick pop. It's just a quick, you do that and it's done. Instead of allowing them to constantly pull, you give a quick pop and it's done. Nothing else. So if the dog was pulling, I would say pop, and it actually loosens back up immediately after that pop. You see that? So this is why I use a prong collar. It is not dangerous. It's safer than this. It's safer than a choke chain. It's safer than the gentle leader. The gentle leader is not so gentle. I don't know if you've seen the head halters where it's almost like a muzzle. It goes around the dog's muzzle and you steer your dog with it. What I can see coming from those is neck injuries for your dog. So the prong collar, it's not evil. It's like any other tool. It's as dangerous as the person that's using it. And it actually helps save a lot of dogs. I really think that this would be an excellent tool for the owner with the dog that keeps escaping. And it would be an excellent tool in helping to rehab that dog, because it's already been damaged by another dog in a dog fight. And I don't mean physically, it has been damaged physically, but I mean emotionally and mentally too. I think this tool would be amazing in rehabilitating that dog. So I just wanted to get some things square, show you some facts about the prong collar. Feel free to share this on your own pages. Maybe we can help educate other people out there and help them keep their dogs from going to shelters or having to be put down. Give them some peace of mind, and help owners to enjoy their walks with their dogs and enjoy life with their dogs and not have to struggle so much. I'm Jessica Mashburn, the lady in OK Lady Canine Training.